Okay, so I think we have gone live now, which is great. I welcome one and all. Hare Krishna, just checking everyone there in the list. If they are Hindi speaking, if not, then we focus on one side. But it's always good to have both the audience going on. And there have been some more devotees who would like to be in touch, and some are senior devotees, and I've requested them to lead and inspire all of us. So, well, the time is the main thing, whether they get the time now or later. But I've requested as and when it suits them. And in the past, we had I think at least 2 or 3 different devotees who came around and did the session, and they would like to do more, but again, they're pushed for the time. But meanwhile, with the mercy of Srila Prabhupada ji, we will continue our Shri Īśopaniṣad, mantra 8. So they are, all right, let's do Mangalachan and then we shall resume. So feel free to join me in Mangalacharan is the auspicious start for everyone. अज्ञानातिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथवितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सवादूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखावितं च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। सुदेव महाराज की जय। जय जय श्री राधे। Hare Krishna, everyone. I welcome everyone for today's session for Shri Īśopaniṣad Mantra 8. A very quick recap, which we always do. It's always good to have the context where we are, because obviously this is just 1 hour in the whole week, and then most of the week we spend in material world. So this hour we try to get a bit more spiritual, try to understand the scriptures and what this message, which is scriptures, are trying to convey to us. And if we understand that 1 hour, that maybe rest of the time in our material world, we will be able to focus much better. So the invocation mantra, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnam Purnam Dasate. This mantra says that the Lord Ishwar, because this is Īśopaniṣad, Ishwar, Lord Krishna, is Purna And we are part and parcel of Krishna, hence we are also Purna. Whether we realize it or not is a different thing, but we are Purna. And Purna is not in a sense that we are as physically strong as Krishna, but we have those qualities of Krishna, Sata, Chitta, Ananda. So eternal conscious bliss. Most of the time in material world, we look for all these things from outside. How will you be happy? If we ask someone, then most of the time the answers will be dependent on the external circumstances, external people, external events, on external things. So somebody might say, well, if the COVID will go away, I will be happy. So this is like a circumstances. Or if we say some event might happen, which is, well, England will win World Cup 2022, then I will be happy. One of the event, one of many events might happen, and then I will be happy. And then somebody might say, if I will get that promotion, if I will get that nice car, then I will be happy. So whether the circumstances change or the event which we want happen, or the thing we want we get, whether it's tangible or untangible, whether it's promotion or it's a physical thing like a car or anything else, or new iPhone, maybe. Different people have different tastes. But all these three different categories, if you think about, the happiness we get from them, they are just temporary. Shan Bhangur. They are going to disappear sooner or later. COVID will go, something else will come. The only thing we get from COVID is that the health goes down, the near and dear ones, they go away forever. But these things are going to happen anyways. We are going to get sick. We are going to go and die one day. We will die, and the near and dear ones of us will die. So rather than spending time materially, of course, which is required, but how about we just add a bit of spirituality in it? So we focus where we're going. It's one of those where we would like to run very fast, very, very, very fast, but in wrong direction. And a lot of time, this is what we do in material world. So we still need to walk, we still need to run, we still need to travel the distance we have in material world, but we need to figure out where is the right direction. Any efforts in wrong directions, which most of the time we do in material world. And that's the reason a lot of time, those people, one of the, well, I think even, okay, let's not say for the current company, but one of the companies I used to work in past, because there could be many. Then the CEO, one of the, of course, the richest person in the company, and even industry wise, if you think about, he didn't have family because he got divorced from his wife. And somebody asked the reason when we met him, and he said, I focused too much on my work. And now he's the richest person. Everybody in the family, in the company, would like to become what he is, the CEO of the company, and would like to earn as much as he has at the moment. But that person is saying, I spend too much time working, hence I didn't give enough time to my family, and hence my wife and my kids left me. And that day I felt how lonely that guy is. He has all that money which all the people in the company look for, but he doesn't have good reasons to spend that money with. And he's not alone. Most of the times we see people, they travel and they ignore their family. Of course, for business, we all do need to travel. And sooner or later, sometimes for business, we do travel. But again, whenever we have the opportunity, should we take this job? So one of my Siksha guru in Dubai, he's a vice president. And when he was taking that role of vice president, he asked his guru, who is fortunately enough my guru as well. He asked Guru Maharaj that, should I take this promotion? And then Guru Maharaj asked one thing, that taking this new role, of course, you will get material opulent, you will get more money, you might buy a bigger house, which he did. But is your sadhana, is your spiritual effort going to go down? Are you going to compromise on your spiritual path? Okay, Shivani says no. She knows him. And of course, he said, no, whatever I do, I still inclined to do all those practices. And then Guru Maharaj Ji, then I have all my blessings for you. And then he did forward, and this is going back many years. And he's still doing great services for Guru and Gauranga, for the Lord and for Guru Maharaj. So the focus is there. He achieved a lot in his material life, but the focus is the spiritual. The foundation is there. And that's what we are saying, that Satya Chit Ananda, not materially outside, but spiritually inside. Our consciousness will change when we are doing things. We will still be CA, we will still be chartered engineer, we will still be the MBAs and medical professionals. But what is our consciousness where we are working? Hence, International Society of Krishna Consciousness. So whatever we do, are we Krishna conscious? Are we Krishna conscious? So that's invocation mantra. And then what is the principle? Īśopaniṣad principle. Everything is perfect. We are part of Krishna. Krishna is perfect. We are also perfect. But spiritually, the soul is perfect. Materially, the body is not. So everything belongs to Ishwar. Īśopaniṣad principle. If we live in that harmony, then we understand that we will be happy, because everything belongs to Krishna. Hare Krishna. अगर सभी कुछ कृष्णा का ही है, तो हमने सिर्फ बोरो की है। और अगर हमने सब चीजें बोरो की हैं, हमने सिर्फ उधार ली हैं, हमारे पास जो भी चीजें हैं टेम्परेरी हैं, हमें बहुत अच्छे से मालूम है। अगर हम ये सोच के जीवन व्यतीत करें, तो क्या हम किसी से कभी झगड़ा कर सकते हैं, लड़ाई कर सकते हैं? क्या जेलसी, एनवीनेस, एंगरनेस, कभी भी हमको ये जो हम 6 भगवत गीता के अंदर दोष आते हैं, क्या हमें क्या वो दोष आएंगे? अगर हम ये ध्यान रखें कि एक दिन हम मर जाएंगे या एक दिन वो मर जाएंगे जिनसे हमारा झगड़ा है. A lot of time this happens that the person we are jealous or envy or for some reason we don't go with, if the person died, we feel sorry. Hardly you will see anyone saying any bad things about the dead person. Why? Because the person is dead now. But if we remember the person, the people, we all die, then we remember this is very temporary. There's no reason to fight for. And these things, they don't belong to us. They don't belong to us. So we live in harmony with everyone, But if we don't live and we try to become the proprietor, we try to become the owner, then disharmony. अगर हम नहीं ईशावास्य प्रिंसिपल में जी पाएंगे, तो हमारी लाइफ के अंदर बहुत उपद्रव होगा. हम नहीं समझ पाएंगे, हम हर चीज के ऊपर अपनी ओनरशिप दिखाना चाहेंगे और जिसकी वजह से हमको बहुत नुकसान होगा. Then the second segment where we are, when we are on the last verse, verse 8, that Ishwar cannot be understood by spiritual vision, can only be understood by spiritual vision. कि भगवान को, ईश्वर को समझने के लिए हमको भौतिक नहीं, आध्यात्मिक विजन चाहिए. ज्ञान के चक्षु हमें चाहिए, जो भगवान कृष्ण अर्जुन को भगवत गीता में देते हैं. और यहाँ पे किस तरीके से ईशावास्यम प्रिंसिपल को समझाया गया है. 4 to 5, Ishwar is inconceivable, where we saw that Ishwar runs, Ishwar doesn't run, Ishwar walk, Ishwar doesn't walk, Ishwar is near, Ishwar is far. भगवान नहीं चल सकते लेकिन भगवान दौड़ सकते हैं. भगवान पास हैं पर भगवान बहुत दूर हैं. तो जब हम इस तरीके से नॉर्मल इंटेलिजेंस से समझने की कोशिश करें, तो हमारे लिए वो बहुत मुश्किल है, बहुत ही ज्यादा मुश्किल है. और हम समझ सकते हैं कि अगर हम इंजीनियर्स हैं, हमने मेडिकल पढ़ाई नहीं करी, तो मेडिकल बुक समझने में हमें प्रॉब्लम होगी. मेडिकल दवाइयाँ किस तरीके से काम करती हैं, मेडिकल इक्विपमेंट्स कैसे काम करते हैं, उनको समझने में हमें दिक्कत होगी. तो ये तो नॉर्मल मुंडेन मटीरियल लाइफ को ही अगर हम देखें तो हमको समझने में दिक्कत होगी. तो भगवान तो स्पिरिचुअल है और स्पिरिचुअल एक्सपीरियंस तो हमें बहुत ही कम होता है. तो फिर भगवान को हम कैसे समझ पाएंगे? भगवान को हम तब समझ पाएंगे जब हम भगवान की एनर्जीज को समझ पाएंगे. Verse 6 to 7. How we can understand the Lord? When we can understand the energies of the Lord. When we can feel the presence of the Lord everywhere. How do we know the sun is out there? Not that we have to go out and we have to see the sun. And even when we will see the sun, what are we looking at? We are looking at the sun rays, sun radiations. We can see a sun globe. We can't even see sun even though it's so far away. तो जिस तरीके से सूर्य है बहुत दूर है, हम देख ही नहीं सकते, जो हमको दिखाई देती हैं वो सूरज की रोशनी दिखती है, जो ऊर्जा हमें उस रोशनी से मिलती है वो हमें महसूस होती है. इसका जो अनुभव हम कर पाते हैं, इससे हम कह सकते हैं सूरज है. सूरज को हम नहीं देख पा रहे, लेकिन सूरज की रोशनी से जो ऊर्जा है वो. इसी तरीके से जब हम भगवान को अगर नहीं भी देख पाए, लेकिन भगवान की जो शक्तियां हैं, उन शक्तियों से जो संसार चल रहा है उसको देख पाएंगे, तो जो हमारा सबसे पहला रियलाइजेशन है, ब्रह्मन रियलाइजेशन, वो सिद्ध होगा, जिससे हम ये कह पाएंगे कि हम ये आत्मा है, हम ये शरीर नहीं है. और जब हमारी आसक्ति इस शरीर से खत्म होगी, तब फिर हम सत्यचित आनंद का अनुभव कर पाएंगे, क्योंकि फिर हम किसी से अटैच नहीं होंगे, हम डिटैच रहेंगे. हम सेवा सभी की करेंगे, लेकिन बिल्कुल डिटैच भाव से. So that's 6 and 7. Now the 8th verse, which is going to complete this section, understand Ishwar by spiritual vision, is that this vision, which vision? The vision of equanimity. The vision, Hare Krishna. Sorry. Hare Krishna, Bhagavati Mataji. So sorry. We got, due to some security in Zoom, I'm sorry, I think I've just realized you were waiting in the waiting room. So glad to have you here with us, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So mantra 8, that this vision, the vision of equi, where we can see everyone on the same platform. And this vision will develop further. Of course, we will see the things, the events, and the people with equal. Right? We are not going to be very happy. We will just say thank you to Krishna when something happens in our life. When we are going to get promotion in our job, we are not going to say, oh, because I did that degree, or because I did that hard work, or because I deserve it. No, because all those things are very irrelevant, because many people in the company, they have done it. But when we understand that, oh yes, Krishna gave us that knowledge, that skill, and that wisdom comes from Krishna. This is what Krishna says. Sarvasya chaham hriday sannivishto mata smritir jnanam apohanam sha. Jnanam. Krishna says, I give you the knowledge. And that's so true. We have seen many examples in past. And then when we can develop this vision even further, then we can understand Krishna. And then when we will move on to the next verse from next week, maybe next week or week after, or maybe New Year, then we will see that how we can develop this knowledge further, and the knowledge in 3 mode of goodness, which is also there in chapter 17. And we will understand the knowledge, the wisdom in 3 modes, which will help us to understand this concept even further. But here, such a person must factually know the greatest of all, the personality of Godhead, Ishwar, who is unembodied. And we will see these verses. So the words in the mantras, they're so important. Akayam, Varnam. So is negative. It's not. So Kaya is a form. Akaya, no form. Unembodied, omniscient, beyond reproach, without veins, pure and uncontaminated. The self-sufficient philosopher who has been fulfilling everyone's desire since time immemorial. So we just said it. So who is fulfilling? We think our hard work is doing it, our knowledge, our skills are doing it. But no, we need to understand what it says there, that the Lord is fulfilling these desires. We desire, but Krishna is the one who is fulfilling those desires. And we have seen many cases where the student will work very hard. Football is going on these days. Could we say that the other team didn't work hard? No. But still, one of the team won it. Why? Well, the desires got fulfilled. But that doesn't mean, and we will see that in this mantra, that doesn't mean that we should not do hard work. We should do hard work, but we cannot. That hard work could make us eligible for the fruits, right? But we cannot demand fruits based on our hard work. तो ये हमारे लिए समझना बहुत जरूरी है। भगवत गीता में भगवान जिस तरीके से कहते हैं कि अर्जुन, आप कर्म करने के अधिकारी हो, लेकिन फल की इच्छा आप नहीं कर सकते। अगर हम कर्म करेंगे तो हमारी एलिजिबिलिटी बनेगी कि हम अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, राइट? जैसे किसी जॉब के अंदर, किसी यूनिवर्सिटी में आपकी एलिजिबिलिटी है कि आपने बैचलर्स फर्स्ट क्लास की हुई है, तो फिर आप ऑक्सफोर्ड कैम्ब्रिज यूनिवर्सिटी में मास्टर्स के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हैं। लेकिन क्योंकि आपने बैचलर्स फर्स्ट क्लास की हुई है, इस वजह से आपको एडमिशन मिलेगा ही नहीं मिलेगा, ये कहना मुश्किल। ये ऑक्सफोर्ड कैम्ब्रिज यूनिवर्सिटी ही है। ऐसे ही कुछ जॉब्स के लिए आपको मास्टर्स होना चाहिए। आप मास्टर्स हैं तो आप उस जॉब के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, पर आपको इंटरव्यू कॉल आएगी, आपको अपॉइंट करेंगे, आपको सेलेक्ट करेंगे, ये हमारे हाथ में नहीं है। तो अगर हम इस कंसेप्ट को समझें तो हम हमेशा मंत्र 2 के हिसाब से हार्मनी में रह सकते हैं कि हमने अपना कर्म किया, बाकी प्रभु की इच्छा। We definitely will work hard, but then whether we get the results or not, that's not in our heart. So this is what there's Mataji from Vishakhapatnam temple, and she delivers very nice lectures, and I was listening to one of her lectures, and she was explaining that devotees, which we have discussed before, that devotees are always happy. Why? Because devotees will request something, devotees will desire something, and if Krishna will fulfill, we are happy because our desires got fulfilled. Whether it's getting admission in a good school, in a good university, whether it's a promotion in the job, or getting a career somewhere else, or if in the family somebody was not doing health-wise, and we requested, oh, please, 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 save this soul, save this family member, and the family member has been saved, then we are happy because we desired, Krishna fulfilled the desires. But what if our desires are not fulfilled? If our desires are not fulfilled, that means Krishna's desires are fulfilled, because Krishna wants our desires not to be fulfilled. And we can understand being parent and child relationship here. Our children would ask for so many things. We don't give them everything, what they want. Shivani is here listening. Because they don't know all the time what's good for them. But we are their parents. Most of the time, we do know. Maybe sometimes we don't know either. But most of the time, because we have experience, we are grown up, we know what's good for them. For example, it's cold. Kids will still say, we want ice cream. Now, we know in this cold, if they're going to eat ice cream, their health will go down. Their immunization will go down. Now, they will get sad. But because they will go sad, that's temporary. But they will still remain healthy. Now, if they will force a lot and we will say, okay, let's buy the ice cream for you, what will happen then? They will get very happy. But for how long? While they're eating ice cream. Once they finish the ice cream, the happiness is done. No more happiness, because ice cream, the happiness was based on ice cream. How long does it take to finish ice cream? 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Ice cream is done. Happiness is completed. But what's now? That ice cream is going to remain inside, going to make the children cold. Maybe because of that cold, children will get cold and then they will suffer. For how long? Maybe a day, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days. If unlucky, maybe for the whole week. Now, this is the understanding devotees have. That if I am asking for ice cream, I will be happy temporarily, but then I have to suffer for a long time. So if something happens, what we requested, thank you, Krishna. But if something doesn't happen, it's still thank you, Krishna, because you know that that thing is not good for me. Because it's cold outside. If I will get that ice cream, I will feel cold and stay longer. Because Krishna, you know this is a material world. If you will give me more material success, I will get engaged in that. And that's it. I will forget you. I will not have enough time to serve. I will not have enough time to go to temple, to do more courses, to read more, to chant more, if I will get that promotion. So if we have that understanding, devotees are always happy. So इस तरीके से हम समझ सकते हैं कि भक्त हमेशा ही खुश रहते हैं. अगर हमारी इच्छाएं पूरी हो जाएं, तब हम ये समझते हैं कि भगवान की मर्जी थी, थैंक यू. अगर भगवान नहीं हमारी मर्जी को भी पूरा करना चाहते, तो हम समझ सकते हैं कि हमने जो चाहा वो हम चाहत हमारे लिए अच्छी ही नहीं है. बिल्कुल वैसे ही जैसे कि ठंडी के अंदर जब बच्चा एक आइसक्रीम मांगता है, वो उसके लिए अच्छी नहीं है, लेकिन बच्चे को मालूम ही नहीं. बच्चे को सिर्फ वो 5-10 मिनट की खुशी चाहिए, लेकिन उस खुशी के बाद जो दुख आने वाले हैं 2-3 दिन तक, जो बच्चा छींक मारता जाएगा, स्कूल नहीं जा पाएगा, बीमार हो जाएगा, वो बच्चे को ध्यान ही नहीं. बिल्कुल इस तरीके से हमारे साथ होता है. तो हमको हमेशा ये समझना चाहिए कि भगवान जो भी करते हैं वो अच्छा ही करते हैं. नाउ भगवान के बारे में, so the Vedic culture itself is so powerful that hardly any other religion is there on this planet who knows so much about the Lord as much as we do from Vedic culture. Shri Īśopaniṣad directly about the Lord. If you go to any other religion and ask, what do you know about the Lord? They don't know, because the scriptures don't know. And here it says that a lot of time our scriptures, the Vedic scripture, because they are vast, massive compilations, 400, 500,000 verses, if you put everything together. In it, one lifetime is very hard to read, understand, and then implement all of them. And that's why we have Srimad Bhagavatam, and that's why we have the commentary of Srila Prabhupada ji. So one thing we should always do, obviously apart from our regular puja, prayers, sadhana, chanting, we should always read. Whether we pick Bhagavad Gita, and for the kids also, before kids go to bed, how about just reading one verse? There are 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita. It will take 2 years to finish the whole Bhagavad Gita, but that will do the job. No worries, because even if you will not have one verse, it will never finish. But if you have one verse every day, and maybe some days if you are not feeling well, we won't have any, but still we try to have at least one word, or maybe revise the previous words. And maybe one day we are feeling in tune and we would like to have more than one verse. But if we have one verse every day, before we go to bed, then it will tune us back. It's like GPS. So in GPS, we follow in the car GPS, and GPS taking us to the, we forgot to take the left turn. GPS said, take left turn. We forgot, and we went on right. And then after a while, GPS will reroute. It will say, okay, you have taken right, come back on the left, we will come back. And then we are again on the route. Then again, we will divert. Then again, GPS will reroute. And this will continue. What do we need to do? The only thing which we keep, of course, if we will stop diverting from the route, that's the best thing. But even if we will keep diverting, but after diversion, if we keep following the route, we will reach to our destination at the end. It will take longer, but we will reach there. This is exactly how we are doing. We go to the material world, we start our job 5 days in a week, and sometimes some people work late evenings and work over the weekends as well. That's where we are diverting from Krishna. Could anyone say that this life we got is for this material process? That earn money, get status, do sense gratification, enjoy your life materially? No. Because not only that we have done it, but those who have done much more than us, like the example of CEO I gave earlier. So when we attend these sessions, when we read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupadaji's book, the message we get, that message is like the GPS rerouting back. When we are here, we really think, oh, I understood now. This is the direction I need to do. I need to do more chanting. I need to listen more. I need to read more. We really feel passionate. I don't know about you, but certainly while delivering the sessions, I do passion. Hopefully you can hear my passion in my voice. But what happens? Once this passion goes out, we get to the material life, which is the diversion. But it's okay. Of course, the best is we won't divert. But it's okay even if we will divert. The only thing is we keep rerouting ourselves, which is that we keep chanting, which is we keep listening to we do the discussions, and we keep reading Srila Prabhupadaji's books. So if we keep doing that, the rerouting will keep happening. So don't forget to keep rerouting ourselves. And if we will keep doing it, one day, indeed, by Krishna's mercy, Guru Maharaj's blessings, we will able to reach to our destination. Hare Krishna. So if there is any question, any discussion point, any realization from anyone, sometimes what we happen, we hear from others, we have observed others. Hare Krishna. So yesterday I visited someone, a friend of mine, and so he had lost his mother-in-law in COVID, and he was very upset. And of course, his wife was even more upset and said, why Krishna has done this? Why Lord has done it? Why to me? And that made me ask, of course, that shows that you really love your mom. But when your mom was there with you, did you ever ask that, thank you, Krishna, and I really wonder, what did I do to get such a nice mom? When we have people around, when we have things, we just take it for granted. We never say, thank you, Krishna, you have given us a mom. But now the mom is gone. And we say, why, Krishna, you have done it? Well, if Krishna was the one who gave, Krishna could take it back as well. We don't say thank you to Krishna, maybe because of our past karmas, we got such a nice mom. And maybe due to our past karma, she was only supposed to be with us for that. Well, either we put Krishna, that Krishna gave and Krishna took, it's okay. Or our karma gave and karma took. It's okay. But the only reason is that we get attached so much that we forget, which is obvious. And there's no way I'm suggesting that she should not be sad. But again, remember, we could be sad, but there is no reason we should be morose. We should be full of sorrow. Sorrow should not be there. Because we know that people around us will go. Now, some people will think that, oh, this is very depressing life. that way. If you will keep thinking, oh, this wife will go, this mom will go, this dad will go, oh, why do you keep talking about death? Well, what I would say, if you think of this, then I think your life is much more vibrant, much more live. We will never take anyone granted. So kids have fun. Sometimes when I'm leaving the house, I say to them that it was pleasure knowing you. And so Shivani asked once, what did you say? I said, I don't know whether I will come back or not. Because you never know when you will be dead. So when I'm with you, I would like to cherish those moments. And when I say it was a pleasure knowing you, I'm saying thank you to Krishna. Krishna gave me such a nice family. And I don't take you for granted. Of course, it's not easy to say and to do or act in that way all the time. But if we remember that, imagine if somebody will come and say, this is your last day. Or for your family member, this is the last day. Will you fight? Will you ignore your family member and go and play somewhere or watch, don't know, maybe football or, well, again, I'm not saying don't watch football. Today is a great match for England. And if you are in England, of course, by all means, watch it. But what I'm saying is that we need to remember that we should not have, if we have that spiritual base with us, life will be much more lively because we will be more dynamic rather than just passing our time for material success. Most of the time, this is what we do. So what Krishna is giving, the message from this is that this mantra says, akayam, unembodied. And this is the beauty of Srila Prabhupada ji. Remember, the English words been given to us by Srila Prabhupada ji. Akayam is not no body. It's unembodied. So we say we are embodied in this body. The soul is embodied. But Srila Prabhupada ji says, for Krishna, and this is what we discussed last week as well. So maybe we will go very quickly. And these are the words which the Sanskrit word on the left hand side, and on the right hand side, the description of them in bracket, the paragraphs what we can discuss. So अगर हमारे पास में ईशा उपनिषद है, श्री ईशोपनिषद, जो बहुत ही छोटी सी बुक है शिला प्रभुपाद जी के पर्पस के साथ, तो उसमें ये पैराग्राफ है ब्रैकेट में जो हम देख सकते हैं. हरे कृष्णा. Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. But what does it mean when it says without veins?
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. So, so the literal meaning, literal words being used in the verse is where we understand it's without veins or without blood. So in our body, we have we have red, or what we call arteries, where the blood flows. And then we have the green, or it looks like green. It's actually darkish red. And that's what we call veins, arteries and veins. So I think it's called, so red because of hemoglobin. And then when the hemoglobin, the oxygen is gone from that blood, then the blood becomes a bit dark, and then usually we refer as veins. So what this verse is basically saying, the first part of it, that the Lord does not have a body and it does not have any veins, which means there is no blood in the body. There is no form, there is no body, there is no blood, and there is no veins. So this is what the verse is saying. So if we come here, actually, let me, I think we have it. If we see word to word translation from Srila Prabhupada ji on the Veda base, then we will see each and every word has a meaning. And what Prabhupada ji is focusing here, or what Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji is focusing here, is on this verse. This is Ashna Viram. This is where we're saying there is no vein, without vein. So the verse itself is saying directly, the literal meaning is that the Lord does not have a body, does not have a form, and does not have any vein, which means does not have any blood and all. This is the literal meaning.
So it means that it's different from us being spiritual body. Body is there,
Yes.
but it's not same as material body. It's just very spiritualized, which cannot be compared to the material body.
That's right. Yes, Mata.
Yeah.
You got that right. This is what Srila Prabhupada said, that this doesn't mean that Krishna doesn't have a form. The Lord, the Ishwar doesn't have a form, which Mayavadis usually say that this was, even those who are not in the religion, they say, well, why Hinduism people have deities in the temple? Because Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, they're not the Lord. They don't look like this because they don't have the body, because it says in their own scriptures that is akayam. There is no kaya. There is no body. But what Srila Prabhupada is saying, that the Lord does not have material body. When Krishna was here, it says in Bhagavatam, then Krishna was, so there was a hunter, and hunter shot this arrow, which went to the ankle of Krishna. And then it says, because of that, Krishna died. Now, it doesn't say in the scripture Krishna died because of that. He says that was the last incident. After that, Krishna decided that I'm going to leave now. Even before demigods came and they said to Krishna, which is there in the scriptures in Bhagavatam, that Krishna, thank you so much for coming around. You have fulfilled your purpose. Now you can go to your spiritual world. Everything is okay. And this is before Krishna's own family got destroyed. And Krishna said, my own family is too powerful at the moment and they should go with me. So let me take care of them. A fight happened and everybody killed each other apart from Krishna and Balram. And they were all part and parcel of Krishna as well. So the big family of Krishna. But even in this material world with the material body, if somebody is shot with an arrow in the ankle, people don't die. People don't die. But Krishna took that as the message. And that was also that hunter was a reincarnation of Vali, the brother of Sugriv, whom Krishna killed as Lord Rama in hiding. And then he asked for the boon that, well, he was very unhappy when Vali was dying. So that's the reason Krishna said, well, Lord Rama said, when in next incarnation, I will come as myself as Krishna, then I will give you the opportunity that you can hurt me as well. And in the Bhagavatam, it says that hunter who hurt Krishna or hit the arrow, shot the arrow in the ankle, that after that he started crying. Well, he didn't do it purposely. He thought it was a deer. But when he figured out, oh, I hit the arrow to Krishna, I started crying. And then Krishna explained to him that there is no reason, because you don't remember, but in your previous birth, I killed you. And that's the reason you hurt me because of that. Because then in that birth, as a Vali, you wanted to. And then the scripture says, Bhagavatam says, that hunter was not punished. Instead, he went to the spiritual world because he fulfilled his purpose. And the same thing, after that, Krishna gave a bit more knowledge to Maitreya Muni came and Uddhav came, and then Krishna left. Now, when Krishna left, Krishna did not leave the body. Krishna did not leave the body. Krishna left with his body. And what does that mean? That Krishna came with his spiritual body. And in that spiritual body, he didn't have the blood like what we have in our oxygenated or deoxygenated blood. So this is why Srila Prabhupada ji gives the purport, and he explains it further, that it's not that the Krishna, the Lord, the Ishwar, what this verse is saying literally, that the Ishwar doesn't have a body, Ishwar doesn't have vein. What this says that It doesn't have material. Krishna has spiritual. And very quickly we will see, and this is what we saw last time as well, that there's a word in Sanskrit called arthapati, which says that if we don't understand two contradictory statements, then we have to understand that there got to be a third statement which will make other two statements verified. Which means Ravi does not eat throughout the day. If that's true, that Ravi weight is increasing, that cannot be true. These two are contradictory statements. But then we have arthapati, kind of conclusion, and this conclusion is, this is the purport which Srila Prabhupada ji and the previous acharyas provide. Otherwise, when we read, and I can give you my own personal example, because I read Puranas, all the 18 major Puranas, and there are so many contradictory things there. When I started reading Srila Prabhupada's books and his explanation and started asking things from the senior Vaishnavas, then I understood this arthapati. That if we understand this sentence, then we know this knowledge was hidden. This knowledge was not there direct. And then there was no contradiction. So that's why I always say there are apparent contradictions. They appear to be contradictory, but they are not contradictory. And the example here is where it says arupya, akayam, God has no form, one statement. Then there is another statement in our Upanishads that God has many forms. And many where it says there are many forms. So there is a verse in Bhagavatam where it says Sheshnag. So Balram ji takes the form of Sheshnag, and Sheshnag has unlimited heads. Unlimited heads means unlimited mouths. And the verse says that from his unlimited mouth, for unlimited time, if that Sheshnag will start explaining the pastimes, narrating the glories of the Lord of different forms, then will not able to complete ever. So unlimited mouth, unlimited time, try to give the pastimes. Now when we say pastimes, it means different forms of Lord. Lord came as a Varaha Dev, Narasimha Dev, Kurma, Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, and then Kalki later. So these are different forms. Each and every form has a pastime. Pastime means the stories of the Lord. Then those stories will not end, which means there are many multiple forms of Krishna. So many different forms. So, but this verse says that there is no form. Then how to understand? These two will be or are apparent contradictions. And then we reach to the conclusion, arthapati, God has no material form. When you say arupya, it's basically material form, but many spiritual forms. Rupya. So this is what postulation or arthapati is. And this is what Srila Prabhupada ji explained, and then later Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji is trying to explain. And if we will go further, we have seen this before another Upanishad, and that's why I say when we read one part, then we say, okay, no problem. We can understand. It says God doesn't have form. That's okay. We have not seen God, so God doesn't have form. It's okay. But when we read another Upanishad, then it will say God has many forms. God eyes are like lotus. Well, how to understand then? If we just read one, it's okay. If we read two, then the things start contradicting. But the context could be very different for others. No, and a lot of time this happens that when we narrate the same story to two different people, we might give different details. Not that we are hiding some details, but maybe those details are not required. So if I will tell the same story to my wife, same story to my son, same story to my daughter, maybe based on their level, their interest, I will not reveal some of the facts because I know it doesn't really matter to them, right? Or maybe not required at that particular time. All of our Upanishads and mainly Puranas, they are story form. And when one person is narrating the story to other person, then sometimes some of the facts are kept secret. and secret in a sense that they were not required at that time. But when we read it somewhere else, then we figure out, okay, they were not there, they are here, but then they contradict sometimes. But then we need someone who can reconcile, most of the time, who has read it all and understand the bird eye or the full picture rather than one picture. Example of 5 blind people experiencing elephants. Somebody touched it from the stomach, saying, oh, elephant is like a wall. Sometimes from the tail, oh, it's all hairy. Somebody from the trunk, oh, right, like a column. Well, are they lying? No, but apparently contradicting. But the person who has seen the whole elephant can understand, all right, okay, you are talking about only that part of it. And that's what our scriptures do. So it says, he has no eyes, but he sees. This is what we have seen in mantra 6 and 7, that he's far, he's near, he cannot see, but he can see, he cannot walk, but he can run. So how? He has no eyes means he doesn't have material eyes, right? But he sees because he has a spiritual eyes. And it says, Krishna being spiritual, there is a verse in Bhagavatam which says that each and every limb of Krishna can do the functions of all different ones, which means if we have to see, we have to see from eyes, but Krishna's hands can also see. And we have seen others also, like other beings on other planets like that as well, with those qualities. With that, Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, please.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes. This arthapati or postulation is quite good, but you need to have a knowledge of to come to such a conclusion and then explain to yourself and to the people around, because people will only understand one line.
True.
And if they don't have knowledge or we don't have knowledge, it's difficult to make conclusion, isn't it?
Yes, yes, very true, Mataji. That's the reason we always say that we should read, but we should try to read in the group, like discuss, and always ask questions that this was there, this wasn't there, why this is written there, why this is not written there, does that mean this, is my understanding correct? So, but you're right, Mataji, that it's confusing, and that's why we need the purpose of acharyas, and that's why we need siksha gurus, that's why we need sangha, that's why we need association of other devotees. So very true, Mataji, very, very true. And that's another reason why Srila Prabhupada ji and our scriptures also, not only Srila Prabhupada ji, Srila Prabhupada ji follows what it says in our scriptures, in a sense that our scriptures will repeat a lot of things. So sometimes you might notice that I'm repeating what we did last week. And that's the reason I always repeat at least the background of Shri Īśopaniṣad, because we need to have the context before we start doing something new. We might go slow, but we should always get the foundation in place. But yes, it's important. It's very, very, very important to repeat things. And our Shastras, they do it. And Srila Prabhupada ji has done it a number of times. So with that, today's time has reached to the limit. So I would like to thank you for everyone's presence. And when you get time, please chant and take the name of the Lord as much as you can, and read Srila Prabhupada's books. They are very inspiring indeed. And I look forward to see you next week. And next week might be the last session of this year, because then I will be away for 2-3 weeks, I think. I will confirm. But yeah, we will definitely meet next week by Krishna's mercy and discuss mantra 8 further. With that, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki jai, jai jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Thank you so much. Onwards. Thank you.